Hey, welcome to Psych Your Way to Success. My name is Claire Beich, and this is Heather. We are two Harvard students working on our masters in IO Psych that really wanted to put something together for everybody or anybody who is seeing some of the same challenges, some of the same successes in our IO Psych path, as well as what other paths we may be taking. So, Heather, your turn.
I'm so glad that we were able to start this podcast because I have seen a lot of people graduate the master's program and go back to their same jobs. And I really wanted people to get out there and work in the field of IO psychology and really, I'm going to say, change the way businesses do business. I mean, it's the reason I got into this field. I wanted to exponentially change the world to be more positive. And I saw in the company that I owned and ran that when people were happy and in a good spot and liked their job, it would exponentially go out to their significant others and their children and their friends. And I could see how changing the workplace does actually change the world exponentially.
Absolutely. It's like that butterfly effect, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
I've noticed myself the impact that the positive impact that being an IO psych, having that depth of empathy and the growth and showing how the growth of empathy and emotional intelligence has really cultivated a much better learning space for everybody and the families involved. Absolutely.
Agreed. And even just like the idea of communication, because everybody thinks they know how to communicate, but really it's more about listening.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
So I think you're right. Like in classes, in an IO psych class, there is, I'll say, you're more thoughtful of it because you're like, wait, I'm learning this stuff. I need to practice what I'm learning, you know?
And the irony, I don't know about you, I think we've had a couple conversations about some of our professors that we're just like, man, I wish they were applying the information that they're trying to teach.
Oh my goodness, it's so true.
There's so many times, and I mean, I know a couple people that are applying the skills, but I would say yourself, just like yourself, for those of you that don't know us, we both have our own businesses, independent, female owned businesses, entrepreneurs in our own right, right? I kind of feel like a total scandal when I say that because I'm just like, what? I did something like that? This like not full imposter syndrome, but this like, I what? Um,
It's
but yeah,
close
I think,
though.
yeah. I will say that we've had small conversations, but I felt this huge knock to my self-esteem. I mean, coming from a background of being, successful or a go-getter and having that instant response of, reward for the output that I'm doing, almost that transactional application of my what I'm doing. And I'm not getting that, right? Like it's so much harder. It's so much harder, especially in this field, because we're still justifying the need for it.
Exactly. And so many people don't even understand what it actually is,
Yes.
right? And
ab-
how it monetarily affects them. Because as a business owner, that's what they're most concerned with, which is more shocking. I didn't realize. I mean, obviously that's true, but I think as a business owner, it's really hard to say this is what is going to help your company. I actually think it's kind of like what marketing was in the 80s. You
Yes.
know, it was like a very like nobody it was an unsung hero basically
Hmm.
because like people didn't understand how like marketing worked and how it took consistency and creativity to really get a great marketing campaign out there. And so like when a great marketing campaign happens, it's all about the company. It's not about that marketing guy was a genius. you know? And it's just like, and I feel like the same is with the IO Psych world. I mean, I think Zappos kind of brought it to light in a very positive, funky kind of way.
Hmm.
And but even still, it's hard to explain it. I always use the example of Zappos or Nordstrom's, like
Right.
those to me are kind of like what all encompasses the IO Psych world. But not only are you justifying why they need to pay you, you're also trying to explain to them what it is. So it's a
Right.
weird conundrum.
Well, and I think when I got into it, when I got into this, I had a absolutely fantastic friend who brought me to the program at Harvard, and I mean, you kind of had this magical idea of what it's going to be once you get into it, and you have all this information, you're learning all these things, you want to apply them. We have our businesses to be able to consult and apply these things as we're learning them, but even more so, we've already seen so many of the positive impacts. I always had this mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Adam Grant, or I'm gonna be the, yeah, like all of these people that we know, whether it's Brene Brown to Simon Sinek to Adam Grant to all of these people that are making very huge changes. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I just want to make a small change in one company and show them like the massive changes that could happen. And it's shocking how that's even so difficult.
Right? It's so
Mhm.
true. It's like it's frustrating and fascinating. And it actually gives me so much respect for Brene Brown and
Yes.
Simon Sinek
Oh,
and Adam Grant, like that they were able to do it. Like it's hard and it's a lot of work and how they're very consistent and they're going after it. And you do get a lot of no's.
the world is
Very
full of them.
humbling.
Yep.
It is. And it's like, and even if you would talk to any of them, they would say it's like once you break through, then you're through. And then it's like you wish you were back at working with these smaller companies because it's in some ways more fulfilling. But anyway, I
No, that's
digress.
great. No, and I think that's, I mean, when and how do you decide what you want to do? I right now, obviously, my focus is going to be going in a slightly different direction, onto my PsyD program, but I mean, just as fulfilling in the end. I'm certain of it, or at least I'm hoping. Um,
You'll nail it.
yeah, thank you. But I think even now, my story that brought me to this point was because leaders not realizing that they're not leading and they're pushing, right? There's so much more of you can go Kaizen with it, with that push versus pull mentality. When you start pushing people, they resist automatically. It's natural reaction. So it's you don't want to push yourself on people, right? Like you don't want to push this idea. You want to plant a seed and let it grow, but I feel like it's taken a long time to grow. Like,
It's true. And
mhm.
also as a leader, you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so interesting how it all is working and what we can do. But I agree, like that pushing and pulling is the worst way to lead.
Yeah, it's been frustrating to watch people do it and then just have to stand back and be like, okay, well, when you feel like you're ready, we're
Yeah,
here. Yeah, like it's fun.
it is a lot of when you're ready because
Mhm.
it's really interesting how even just back to that push and pull concept, it seems like it'd be quicker, but the beauty of actual leading is the creativity that comes out of it. Like I've always found that like I have an idea of where something should go, and then I let other people like do their thing, and it goes in a way better direction, ends up better than I could have ever imagined. So I'm always like, people need to just trust the people they're working with that it'll like end up just phenomenal. So
One of the most interesting things that I remember talking with one CEO, and it kind of came to me at the same time that it was coming out of my mouth. He said that he just didn't trust certain people to do what he has asked them to do. And it kind of came out of my mouth, and I was like, well, you were in charge of hiring, right? So that, like,
Oh, I like
oh
that. You're
crap,
right.
sorry. Um, you like, I didn't mean to insult you or be brash or harsh, but like at the end of the day, we do need to realize that the leaders that are in these positions are the ones that have placed an entrusted person to do the hiring. They've put forth the policies and procedures to do the hiring. And if they don't trust the people currently in their roles, then they need to first look at that hiring process. Like, what have you not done to weed out the people that you don't trust? Right? I don't know. It was kind of shock for me.
No, I agree. And taking that ownership and responsibility. So I think generally, in my opinion, what I've seen is that people want to do a good job. Nobody, not very many people. I mean, there are these people, so I'm not going to
Sure.
do a blanket statement, but I would say the majority of the people, they wake up and they want to do a good job. They're not looking to like ruin the company or like ruin your day. They actually want to do a good job. And so I think as a leader, it's your role to really see that in people and bring that out. And when you bring
Hmm.
that out of people, it's so beautiful. It really is just like so fun. And whether they stay at your company or move to another one, it's
Hmm.
awesome. But I always
Yeah.
say, like, as a leader, you're looking to like replace yourself. You're looking to get yourself out of a job. It's
Yes.
really what you're trying to do. And like when you really have that real mentality, it really helps you. It takes away the selfishness of like, oh, I always want a job. I want to look the best. I want to do this. No,
Hmm.
you want everybody below you to look way better than you.
Yeah, I mean, because that glows you up that much more. I would even say for our numbers people out there, it doesn't just give you that soft, good feeling at the end of the day. It gives you, and it's proven, like the higher numbers, the efficiency levels, all of your KPIs go up. Like what you're searching for at the end of the day can be accomplished organically, right? Like when you start making these long, in-depth, hard but worth it changes.
I couldn't agree more with you.
Awesome. So I think what we're looking to do for anybody still listening, thanks for still being here. Um, I think what we're looking to do is just have these quick little conversations talking about some of the successes that we're finding. We want to be able to invite people in on the conversation, maybe. Please contribute to our conversations as well. If you have a topic that you really want to talk about or to learn more about, that is what we're out here to do. So, anything to add for that, Heather?
No, you did it perfectly.
Thanks. All right. Well, thanks again for still being here. And we will be doing this once a week, probably anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes per session. And look forward to just keeping it going and making sure that we find a yes in there somewhere, right?
I love it.
Cool.
Exactly.
Have a good day. Thanks again.